areas and develop a security policy to help them prevent incidents when they can and respond to them when they must. Not only do we help them set the groundwork for success, but we follow through with training and materials to ensure that the company's security policies are effective and up to date. We strive to help companies stay secure even as they grow from teams of 2 to 20 or more. Security is all about having the proper procedures to deal with an attack. If you have ever run Windows Update, you have the technological know-how that could have prevented the Equifax breach. Despite Target's security systems, they were still hacked. All of the technical ability and expensive equipment in the world isn't enough to protect a company without the right policies governing their use. Target can afford losing that much money. Small businesses are a different story. Having these policies in place helps ensure a business is not vulnerable at a time when a single mistake could cost everything.
In Colorado alone, startups attracted over $780 million of funding last year, and that number is only going up. However, over 83% of these companies had no written security policy in place whatsoever. These companies simply don't have the budget for the in-depth security audits that are aimed at larger companies with the resources that a smaller business could only dream of. Instead, they're forced to write off these as luxuries that they can't afford and often go without any security policy entirely. We're planning to seize this market by providing a security solution that is custom-made for the thousands of small businesses that are looking for a fast and cheap security solution. We plan to partner with startup accelerators to reach a wide audience of budding entrepreneurs, as well as to raise the success rates of the businesses which they sponsor. Sadly, cyber attacks have become a modern reality, and small businesses simply must be prepared for them. I'm sure we all know what it's like to put our blood, sweat, and tears into an idea, and nobody deserves to have that idea stolen away from them. We at Mopsys are committed to keeping that from happening. We hope that you will help us succeed. Thank you very much.
All right, 2 minutes for questions.
So are you guys a technology company or a consulting company?
Consultant. Consultant.
You said fast and cheaper cybersecurity solution. What's different? What's the value add from what's already out there, like all the other cybersecurity?
I'm glad you asked. A lot of what's already out there is more expensive, more time-consuming, and aimed at some of the larger businesses. You'll pay $5,000 to $10,000 for a company to come in and give you a massive report of what they found with no necessary plan for ways to fix them, no in-depth knowledge, no where to go from there. What we're offering is, it's basically 2 parts: the initial assessment and an optional sort of chief security officer as a service going on out, where we can help them to improve the policies and to improve the tools that they have.
Where do you get that efficiency to provide cheaper and faster solution?
Most of the current audits are full audits of a company's equipment and what they happen to be doing. They will audit the service. We're doing less direct service audits and more helping inform their employees and provide a policy for what to do in the event of a crisis without going through all the minutia of finding the vulnerabilities that might exist in their service and that kind of thing. We're helping them solve their own problems rather than taking the time to go through their service ourselves.
I heard 2 different customers. I heard small business and I heard, I'm assuming, VC-backed startups. Which one was your preference?
A little bit of both. We were hoping to go for very small startups and kind of the smaller end of small businesses.
And what's your initial pricing?
So hopefully a few hundred to small single-digit thousands, depending on the size and scale of the company.
One time or recurring?
One time, but there could be, if they particularly enjoy the service and would like us to keep coming back, that would be an option.
All right, feedback, please.
You spend like a large portion of your pitch on explaining the problem and very little on the solution. So it's just balance that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, you've got these lingering, like like chief security officer as a service. And I think startups are gonna respond to that more than I think the average small business.
So I think, so first off, problem identification was good. We're repeating that one. When you say that you're going to provide a custom solution for thousands of small businesses, that's a hard thing to do. How do you create a custom solution for thousands of businesses with 3 people or even 1,000 people, right? So how would you scale a business like this if it's a consulting company? How does a policy prevent any of the issues that you mentioned? Great, I'm sure that Target and Equifax had policies in place as well, but clearly they weren't followed. I do like that concept, chief security officer as a service, and I think I want you guys to be thinking about how you could actually translate that. I'm a huge fan of consulting companies. Think about, though, how you can turn this into a technology and product company, because that's what you can scale, that's what you can grow, that's how you can truly deliver 1,000 custom solutions for 1,000 small businesses. That being said, you could probably turn this into a business quickly if you kept it as a consulting business. I'm not quite sure that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, but maybe it is. And you can pay the bills very well doing consulting. If you do it as a consulting business, your pricing should probably be based on how much time you're spending on the actual work, and then you just multiply that by an hourly rate. That being said, one idea for how to turn this into technology is maybe it's an early warning system or a threat identification system.
All right, that was 2 minutes. Like a 1 minute. Okay, well,
Thank you.
Hello, I'm John Murphy, the co-founder of Fair Play. Half a penny. That is how much Spotify pays per play. This fraction of a penny is then split between sales, mechanical royalties, and performance royalties. After all is said and done, the artist can expect to see just 1/10 of a penny. And what does that mean? 1/10 of a penny for 1,000,000 streams equals just $1,000. So how do we get here? Things have changed a lot. Well, in 1999, Napster disrupted the music industry by utilizing the internet to spread and share music person to person, completely bypassing an established market. While the company was stopped, it still created a fault line in a massive market. From Napster, we now have Spotify and Apple Music, and Napster was able to show how technology, the internet in this case, can cause a disruption and force change in the biggest of players. Like the internet, there is another emerging technology that is causing a similar disruption in markets around the globe: blockchain. Blockchain enables reliable and transparent transactions to occur without financial obstructions or mediators. We will utilize blockchain technology through the use of smart contracts to revolutionize the music industry once again. So smart contracts are used to define the rules, used to define the agreements between parties, and monitor and enforce those obligations. Payments are delivered instantly, and agreements cannot change or be altered with. In our program, the artist will be linked through a smart contract that will deliver microtransactions for each song played. So what are we trying to fix? Currently, to even be eligible for monetization on a streaming platform, the artist must be represented by a music label or a third-party management agency. When Spotify eventually does pay this money, it pays it directly to the label. It does not pay it to the artist. It is then the label's responsibility to pay the artist, songwriter, or producer the agreed upon amount. And then this changing of hands is complicated, confusing, and has led to over $100 million of unaccounted for revenue, leading musicians to wonder if they're being paid fairly, or at the very least with their contract promises. And instead of music labels, smart contracts will be the bridge between the artist and the platform. As opposed to the current model, artists will Instead, be able to sign up for a monetization plan that is reliable and direct. No requisition needed. More and more artists these days are straying away from the use of a major label, because of their predatory nature and creative limitations. In this time of change, we will offer opportunities to independent artists that they have not had in the past. The use of smart contracts will facilitate a newly transparent and supportive relationship between the artist and the platform. No more backdoor deals or self-serving contracts. The key way for us to gain traction is an aggressive marketing campaign through the use of social media and other influences in the music community. Our focus will be in culminating up-and-coming artists who will immediately benefit from our business model. We have to spend time to educate the public before we would expect them to switch over. But once traction is gained, sky's the limit. With over 150 million people who use Spotify alone. Once mainstream artists see the benefits and begin to switch over to our platform, we can then expect more widespread adoption. Just as the internet changed the way we access music, the blockchain will revolutionize the economy of music while supporting artists doing what they love. Thank you.
All right, any questions?
What percent of artists don't have a label or are self-labeled?
So I'm not exactly sure on the percentages, but I do have a list of really well-known up-and-coming artists who made their start on SoundCloud, which I didn't mention, but doesn't pay anything to their artists. And that's really where the largest amount of those third-party agencies have a business now to provide money to them, because SoundCloud provides absolutely nothing to them.
Question on monetization.
Monetization. So we would initially have a coin affiliated with our application. So there'd be the initial coin offering, and then also investing off of that. But I mean,
Yeah, we could
it would
do
be a
like
percentage.
Yeah, it could be like a premium for per month on like a certain basis, and then we could do like a pay for, you know, X amount of, you know, we get up to $5. It could be like the maximum per month that we pay, or it could be anything up to $5 too.
Do you know what the business model that currently exists in the website? This one. This one. Okay, so you're talking about cutting out the label and the manager, right?
The label should have been switched, yeah.
Great. So you're gonna replace Spotify, so that the artist is still gonna have that cut, right? You're gonna make some money somewhere. I guess my question is, artists don't really want to do the work of, I have a story that artists don't really want to do the work of distributing their music, but that's the focus that the manager will do.
Yeah.
So I'm having a little disbelief that you're able to cut them out.
Well, I guess it's not so much. I mean, I think you're also right in that. Where for these mainstream people who really, like, they're fine. Like, you can take my 10%. I don't really need it as long as you do as much work as you do. But there is a growing market of these young kids who just like will go on YouTube, SoundCloud, anywhere, and just put the work in to get seen and to grow with that. So we would really be facilitating that need while also providing them with some financial return in the meantime.
2 minutes, actually a minute and 40 seconds for feedback.
Can you go down one to the next slide? Okay, so at the highest level, leveraging blockchain to fix revenue leakage issues across any industry, I think, great idea. Right now, probably the best time to be thinking about it until Bitcoin crashes. I don't understand what the business is. I don't understand exactly where you fit in. I don't understand who the customer is, who's paying for it. So try to figure out how to articulate that better. And then, but at the highest level, I think, you know, leveraging blockchain to fix revenue leakage, that line is something if you can focus on that and figure out how to better articulate how your solution does that. That's where I would try to focus, kind of like I went up to the presentation.
I think it's, and you'd asked about the smart contractors here, whether that's something you're customizing on the platform or if that's a standard, and that's part of where you're creating efficiency there or
Yeah.
not. Or if it's transparency that you're creating or a customized or a standard contract.
I mean, it just kind of like takes up the need for them to mediate deals through.
Yes, so that's interesting, right? Because I think there's a ton of friction getting that we saw on the platform for a reason, right? Every artist wants their deal to be special, or every label wants that. So I just push on that as option, but
It's done. All right.
I just want to say one thing, compliment, I really liked your analysis on the industry, was really impressed on that, I think, and also the analogy on Netflix made, for, like, just like, you had a really good, I think, analysis of the industry, and also a smart use of blockchain for something like this.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
The world in its current state celebrates convenience, but at what cost? Slowly but surely, traditional experiences like going to the store or meeting in person are being replaced with biking statuses and one-click buy. Suddenly, VR enters the tech scene. Offering unprecedented levels of immersion, VR is capable of simulating activities better than anything before. Virtual reality undoubtedly will become a cornerstone of tech in the future. But for the millions who are willing to pay for it, that future is now. We feel that by using this new hardware, we'll be able to bring experience back to convenience. Specifically, we focus on the experience of shopping. While buying has been nearly perfected with e-commerce, the most you'll ever be doing is limited to navigating web pages. This is hardly as engaging as visiting several themed stores, each with their own creative layout and display. At the same time, you could see and maybe have a conversation with other people visiting that same store. Also, an item's size and dimension are obvious in person, but can often be hard to represent with just 2D images. For VR early adopters, checkout can solve these problems. By recreating these experiences virtually, checkout takes you to the store. In the app, shoppers can visit instances connected to a central hub where they are presented with a fully 3D explorable outlet for a given retailer. In these outlets, players can interact with and manipulate 3D renderings of products simple enough to represent virtually, and classic 2D image portfolios for more complex items. There they can interact with other shoppers visiting the same outlet, blocking them both audibly and visibly if needed. Once a customer has found an item that they would like to purchase, they can order it in-app and have it shipped to their home. Given that this is an application for your computer, there will be a fair amount of customization available. Your avatar will be able to change their appearance from a selection of cosmetics. In addition, for any item that they buy with a 3D representation, you now also own a virtual copy of that item that may be used and placed in the checkout hub. And for shoppers who prefer extended sessions of checkout, a nighttime mode is offered to avoid eye strain. All exciting possibilities of virtual shopping. Surprisingly, not many people have tried this idea yet. Most likely, people feel there wouldn't be enough customers for this to be a viable or a feasible project. However, in 2016 alone, over 12 million VR headsets were sold, with Oculus Rift and HTC Vive being 5.7 million of those. By offering checkout as a free-to-use software on both the Steam Store and the Oculus Store, we hope to gain the attention of a majority of the Oculus and Vive communities. Luckily, because of its early adopter status, the virtual reality software market is severely underpopulated.